Well, from observing the videos that I received, here are just some things to keep in mind. Very, very little. I didn't get many videos this week. One big one is index, index, index. Make sure that you are indexing the entities, the people, the places, the individuals, as well as Broadway, as well as Pennsylvania, as well as New York. Make sure you are setting these things up in space. A few other smaller things. This sign is children, it's plural, so if you're saying the concept of when I was young, you're going to want to do that a little bit differently. There are several different ways to do that, but children is plural. Children is plural. The concept of when it wasn't until I got this role on Broadway that I got recognition or something like that. Something like that. When you are setting up a story like that, it has to be in order of things happening. So it wouldn't be, where is this? Oh, I didn't really get public attention until I got the Broadway role, first sentence, Broadway role when I was 18. So you can't get the attention until you get the Broadway role. It has to be, I got this part and then this happened. Order of what actually happened in real life. Pennsylvania, small town, index. Index, index, index. Same thing, Broadway, index. And I saw one video, and boy, did I love this. I've never seen this before, but it was so clear, and so I feel like, gosh, I totally should have seen this and have been using this sign. For the idea of this competitive small town, I saw someone sign this idea of like, you know, everybody's like knocking each other out to try to get these parts. I thought that was a really, really fantastic way to show that. That's all I have from the videos that I got, so let's go ahead and start interpreting this. First sentence. I started dancing as a child, but I didn't really get public attention until I got a Broadway role when I was 18. Okay? So the first chunk is I started dancing as a child. Okay, so what's the time in that chunk? Okay, so we have past. So we can set up past by just signing past. That works. In the past, we would need more than that, of course. We would need past what? What else would we need to set up the time accurately? Before what? Me. Yep, before me young, like little, you could do that. Or before me young, you could do that. Either one of those could work. You could also just sign eyebrows up if or when me young or me this. That works as well. If or when me this. I'm inclined to emphasize putting the time, the past in there because people tend to omit that when it is really necessary, and so it doesn't hurt to put it in when it's not necessary, but just so you know, grammatically, you could just sign eyebrows up, me young, like when I was young, and then that and the rest of it, okay? So what happened when this person was young? When I started dancing as a child, so me young, what happened? Me start dancing, right, me start dancing, and you may even want to say, what exactly, what was, when somebody starts a hobby like dancing or a skill like, yes, this is a really good sign to put in there. So me young, me start dancing, or me dance, learn, 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 learn. Okay, I really like putting learn in there. I think that's the implied, the really, you know, if you're going to get to the heart of it, she's saying I was learning dance, right? Okay, next chunk. But I didn't really get public attention until I got a Broadway role when I was 18, okay? So we said, We went all the way back to when I was young, started dancing. Okay, now what's the time? How do we go from here, whatever age this is, we don't know specifically, to 18? How do we go from there to there? We could do this, we could do this, we could do this, I guess. We could hop forward in time. My inclination is to do this, which this is that timeline. I tend to favor this timeline. So in this timeline, you guys know there's always two. If you favor this timeline, that would be, whoops, me young, learn. Moving forward to 18, that's what that would look like. Okay, so either timeline you prefer, it's up to you. Okay, okay, so we have young, dance, me learn, learn, learn. Moving time forward, me 18. All of that's eyebrows up. Okay, not all of that, sorry. Two chunks. Eyebrows up, me young, they come down. Dance, me learn, 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 learn. Okay, second chunk. Time moves forward, me 18. Okay, eyebrows up. And the next thing is, what happened next? When I was 18, what happened? But I didn't really get public attention until I got a Broadway role at 18. What happened at 18? Okay, so 18, the next thing that happens is I get this role on Broadway. Okay, so let's think about that. First of all, Broadway, some people sign Broadway. I've seen this before. This is what I signed for. But keep in mind that just because you have a sign for something does not mean that this guy understands that sign, meaning the person that you're interpreting for. Okay? So we might go, ooh, I love that sign for Broadway. I'm going to start using it. And then not everybody knows that sign. So fingerspelling Broadway is another good option. Okay? So we have, so what happened at Broadway? Somebody tell me or sign to me. In English, though, tell me, just think about what happened on Broadway. What happened regarding Broadway when this person was 18? I think I saw this. Somebody signed this earlier. Okay, so Broadway, what? I need more. Broadway, what? This. Give me more to make that complete. Okay, so Broadway show. Maybe Broadway show hired me. That works. Yeah. Notice the indexing. Notice the indexing. So, and keep in mind that we got here by not thinking about those words, but thinking about, okay, we understand what the person's saying now. What happened? Oh, okay, this person got hired on a show on Broadway. So Broadway show, index. Everybody remember this? Hired me, and hired me goes out. They hired me, okay? Or they picked me. You could say that too. They picked me, directional. Broadway show, index, over there, picked me. Either one of those could work, okay? Then after this person got hired for the Broadway show, it says, but I didn't really get public attention until I got a Broadway show when I was 18. So what happened after this person got hired on Broadway? People, or people, what do they do? Yeah, they looked at me. Yeah, that's a good direction. You could do they looked at me this way, or you could, so there's two options there. You can become the people. So you could do people, okay. Wow, public attention, you could do that. So then that's becoming the people. Or you could do directionally staying as the speaker and doing people looked at me. Looked at me. You could do that too. Either way, either perspective. Public attention. So the reason why I'm applauding is because I feel like that's what public attention is, right? You move up the ranks, you finally make it to Broadway, and then all of a sudden you're in the newspaper and you're in magazines, and people are like, wow, I Never, where'd this guy come from? It came out of nowhere. Nice job. Who is this person? Public attention. What other way could you convey that idea of public attention? Could maybe this? Maybe even this sign is enough. Maybe, does anybody think that this sign's enough? With the right non-manual, maybe? Could be, right? People? Maybe? Could be enough? Okay, let's keep going. Next sentence. I come from a small town in Pennsylvania with a surprisingly large, hugely competitive, ruthless theater community. So I was one of many that had their sights set on Broadway. I always think these complicated sentences are a good idea when I write them, and then I come to the webinar and I'm like, oh gosh. Okay, chunk number 1 for this one. Okay, first chunk. I come from a small town in Pennsylvania. We can stop there. Okay, I come from a small town in Pennsylvania. Where do you want to start this one? Great, so me, grow up, index. I'm indexing the same place as Broadway simply because in my world in Florida, Broadway and Pennsylvania are right there. Okay, so they're like the same, they're the same place. So keeping that in mind, I just have to know that because they're pretty much in the same place, I can't just index over there and think that the audience is going to know which one I'm talking about. I have to be clear about it. Okay, so me, grow up. I'm going to index same place as I have Broadway, Pennsylvania now. Okay, and then we're going to describe that town. So we're going to big to small, grow up in Pennsylvania, and then we're going to describe it. Small town, or you can even sign small town. This is another sign that can mean small in the sense of quaint or quaint, small, cozy. I live in a cozy apartment. I literally do, like 500 square feet. But anyway, yeah, so this could be another word for that idea. Okay, so so me, grow up, Pennsylvania, small town. And again, small town is perfectly fine. I'm just giving you this other option that you can use, small town or small town. Okay, next chunk. With a surprisingly large, hugely competitive, ruthless theater community. So there's a lot in there. So I'm going to just paraphrase to get rid of all those words, okay? I'm just going to paraphrase it and make it really simple so I can get a really clear picture of what's going on in this town. Okay, so they, it seems like in this small town there are a lot of people in theater, a lot of people involved in the theater community, right? And it seems kind of dog-eat-dog, where people are kind of, I don't want to use signs to convey it yet, but, you know, like at each other's throats trying to get, you know, one person wants a part, another person wants a part, that kind of, it's a tense sort of competitive environment. I hate to use the same word that's in here, but, so now that we're not thinking, how do I sign ruthless, how do I sign all of these other things, we have this other picture that we can kind of tackle, okay? So, in the next chunk, with a surprisingly large, hugely competitive, ruthless theater community, topic. There's no time in that chunk, so I'm going straight to topic. What are we talking about in that chunk? Everybody agree? Theater? Okay, so the theater there, yeah. Or you could say theater community if you wanted to. The theater or the theater community, either one. Okay, the theater. And then who are we describing? Or who or what are we describing? Yep, theater, the people are what? What are they like? They're involved. So theater there, people involved, maybe they support it. And then what do you, and then how do we want to convey, what are some of the many ways you can convey this, the feeling of the tension there in the community? Just throw some signs out that might work for that feeling. Oh, I like that. Backstab. Didn't think of that. Could be backstabby. Could be, I used this sign earlier, could be like this, elbowing each other out of the way. Oh, okay, like hiding information, not going to share, no hiding information, that could work. Any other ideas? Motivated, yeah, motivated. Any others? Certainly competition could work, competitive. This idea could work. Also, kind of this like one-upping each other, one-upping each other. This is often used in a light way, but it doesn't have to be used lightly. It can mean like, depending on your 9 manual, this feeling of like, you know, brotherly, sisterly, back and forth, wanting to do one-upping, but wanting to do better than the next guy. This sign could be used, like insulting back and forth. What do I have here? This. Yeah, any of those works, yeah. So whatever your vision, whatever your mind comes up with for that, the concept of this idea of competitive, ruthless, throw it in, whatever time allows you. Okay, so to back up a little bit, we have theater there, the people, competitive, back and forth. Okay, that covers it. Next chunk. So I was one of many that had their sights set on Broadway. Okay. Many what? Many what? Many. Yep. Goal what? Yeah, and we could even sign Broadway earlier. We could say Broadway, many chase or chase this way. I saw Beth signing that. Chase, so Broadway, many of them want, you could sign that. I know I'm covering myself. So I'm going to keep Broadway over there, but Broadway, many, I'm just moving my body so you can see my signs. Chase, want, you can sign that like that too. Okay? And that's the end. Chase. You can chase it this way too. You can chase Broadway like this. Goal, chase. You'd have to sign. No, you could just sign chase. That works. Using it in a more figurative way, but it's still, chase is used figuratively. Okay. So those, you can chase a goal like this, or you can chase a goal like this. Questions so far? Okay. Let's keep going. Third sentence. When I made it, boy, did that stun my naysayers. Ah, so vindicating. Okay. First chunk, when I made it. Lots of ways to show when I made it. So I just saw me, they hired me. Okay, they hired me. So when that happened, when they hired me, that worked. Any other ideas? That idea of, anybody else? When I made it? Yeah, me pa, absolutely. Me pa, yes. Like finally I was there when I had that success, absolutely. Other ideas? When I made it. When the goal, when I captured the goal, me goal capture, absolutely. Yep. All those work. I think I stole this. I did my gloss actually last week. I don't normally do my gloss that long ago, but I think I stole this from the inspiration video. I have this. So me, when I broke from the group, me, I think he signed that in that video. Does that look familiar? Okay. Thank you. So that's another way to do that. So when I escaped, when I did this from everybody else, everybody's left behind, and then here I go up to Broadway, and I'm keeping the people in the same place. So they, oh, sorry, boy, did that stun my naysayers. This is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if I did this as completely as I could have, but we'll keep going. Boy, did that stun my naysayer. So what did they do? Okay, so this is the issue that I'm finding with my gloss. As I'm reading it now, the concept of naysayers is something that I didn't really gloss at all. I kind of just omitted it. And so let's put that in because I think that is really relevant. So if somebody's a naysayer, what's implied there? What did they do? Before, yeah, it could be before negative, or before they not support, or before they impossible. You do that, like, yeah, right, yeah, impossible, you're not going to make it. Any of those ways, and notice how short those were. I just neglected to put it in mine, so I was probably writing it too quickly. But yeah, one or two signs, and it can quickly convey that idea of naysayers. So then before, yeah, right, Now, yeah, now they were shocked to see me succeed. And all I did was I did both of those signs, but you could just do the one. Them. Okay, you could just do neck back. And neck back is just a very common, it's more of a classifier, I guess, just to show that shocking feeling. What? Nuh-uh, Broadway, they made it, that person, no way. Shock. And then we have the end of it, so vindicating. And the concept of vindicating could be, or feeling vindicated could be conveyed just on your face. So they did this, they before did, yeah, and then now shocked, right? And then here's what I did, and show me what it would look like to feel vindicated. You're going to look at them and just look at them with a feeling of vindication. Just try it. There's no wrong answer. Like, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You could do it all on your face. You could also choose to add a sign. So you could just do it on your face. Yeah. Or you could do it, you could do maybe that's vindication, maybe. Off I go, maybe that, you know? Or maybe this sign. This is a little bit more negative. This sign sometimes can be even mean like F you. It doesn't have to mean that, but it could. So just know it can be a little bit more negative, this sign. That's what I have my gloss as. There are so many ways you could convey that with just one sign, too. We could go all day with just going, show me vindication. But those are a few options that we have. Okay. The important part of that sentence is the role shift. So we have when me, success, or me, hired, or me, go, okay, any of those, that's the first chunk. When I made it, when I got out of there, okay, those people, so we're having the people on the side, before, yeah, right, okay, and now, back to narrator, now they shock, okay, then this is what I did, and then whatever you do for vindication. So yeah, out of here, or me, whatever. Okay, whatever you choose to use for that. Okay, make sure you are identifying who you are becoming before you do the role shift. Okay, make sure that you have your things set up. So I have Broadway and I have Pennsylvania in pretty much the same location. Because of that, I have to say where I'm going. Okay, so when they hired me, look at how hired me is going directly to where Broadway is in space. Okay, if I just choose to go that, look how I'm going directly toward where Broadway is in space. So keep that consistency in where your space is located. Okay, you can talk to them bye-bye, and then off you go. Okay, let's keep going. Then I moved to New York, which is when I lost control with drugs. For me, it was mostly cocaine to keep the weight off, and I had about a 10-year downward spiral. Okay, first jump. Then I moved to New York, so we go, me, move to New York, done. Or New York, I moved to, either way. Easy peasy. Which is when I lost control with drugs. For me, it was mostly cocaine to keep the weight off. Okay, so we can work on that whole section all together. Well, we'll do the first chunk, which is when I lost control with drugs. Okay, so we could say, move to New York. Okay, drugs, or however you sign drugs, there are a lot of different signs. Drugs are fingerspelled a lot too. It's regional. I think these are the most common signs. Do you guys sign anything else for drugs? No? Okay. Did I see something? Beth, what were you just signing? You signed drugs? Okay. So, so drugs or happen drugs, and then pretty much everybody signed this that I saw when I lost control. No, I think it's the next sentence. What I want to sign for this, drugs, me, boom, immersed in. I lost control with drugs, boom. You could also, if you want to depict it even more, you could sign that progression, that like, oh, that feeling of like, you know, time is moving and this is what's happening. But grammatically, drugs, me, immersed in is all you really need. Okay, I moved to New York, and then drugs, me, boom, they happen. For me, it was mostly cocaine to keep the weight off. So you can sign for this topic. It could either be me as the topic, who we're talking about, me, or it could be what are we talking about, cocaine. Either way could be the topic for you. Okay, who wants the topic to be me? So everybody else wants cocaine? Everybody else wants cocaine. This webinar is going crazy tonight. So everybody wants, doesn't matter? So Beth, you were doing me, it looks like you were doing me first, right? No? So, excellent. So, let me just take a look at this. Okay. Interesting. So, there's a lot of implication in that sentence. So, nothing in here says anything about, you know, the burden of being a dancer on Broadway, right? But the sentence, the chunk of, for me it was mostly cocaine to keep the weight off. There's this implication that this is a requirement of the field, of the area that I'm in. And so what Beth just did was she added that implication. So she took this hidden information, this, you know, kind of implied information, and she made it explicit. So she did Broadway. You can do that for cocaine. I added a little bit, but something like that. So that implication of this is something that's actually on Broadway. You have to be thin. That implication became explicit in her her sample, her demo, which was great. You could choose to not do the implication. I actually like that. I think it is more clear. But if we didn't do that, then it would be simply that we use cocaine to stay thin. Okay, and then that would be this speaker used cocaine. So it would be like cocaine, or now I'm changing it. I really like this. Something like that. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit of an expansion on the idea of staying thin, but any of those could work. And again, so we had I first, so it could be me, cocaine, and then the expansion. Me, use cocaine, or I'm using this, meaning like, for me it was mainly cocaine. I just said I was into drugs, but me, I really frequented cocaine. Cocaine was the thing that I went to, and then continuing with important, body, thin, etc. Or you could say cocaine as the topic, me, or me use often, or however you want to convey that, okay? And then again, you could even do the implication there, Broadway, thin, help, or something like that. Okay. Whoopsie daisy. Last chunk in this one. And I had about a 10-year downward spiral. I think this is where everybody did this. So, excuse me. So we have 10-year downward spiral. So we have 10 years, that's the time we're talking about. And it's not just 10 years in general, but it's 10 years moving forward. And then how do you want to show downward spiral? What was happening during that 10 years? What specifically was happening during those 10 years? Lots of cocaine use, more and more, worse and worse and worse, life, worse and worse and worse. So we could do this, but to show 10 years, life, or 10 years, cocaine, more, life, that kind of makes it a little bit more robust, okay? Rather than just 10 years, boom. But 10 years, worse, cocaine, more, life, something like that. Downward spiral. This sign, this is a great sign and an excellent choice for this concept, but I just feel like a native ASL user, if they were dealing with this concept of what somebody went through for 10 years, they would do more than just 10 years, boom. It would be more depiction, more of an expansion on that. Next sentence. I tried to quit cold turkey several times, and I just kept hitting a wall and failing. Okay, so what's the time in the first chunk? I tried to quit cold turkey several times. Sue? It looks like your mute is off, so the line over your microphone is off. I don't know if that has to do with you hearing me, but that might, maybe you clicked on something inadvertently. Yeah, your mute is off, so I should be able to hear you talk right now, and I can't. I hear nothing. So something's going on. For the last chunk, oh, you can't hear me. Okay, going back. So for 10-year downward spiral, for 10-year downward spiral, yeah, I mean, addicted is great. Oh, I see. Then maybe when I lost control with drugs, you're thinking cocaine, me, that? Yeah, I mean, the person was addicted to drugs. Yeah, so you could put addicted in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the more, there's no problem. You still can't hear me? You still can't? Oh, good. Okay. There's no problem with signing addicted. None. My only caution is that when we think, oh, we could just simply sign drug addicted, it may mean that our inclination is to do less depiction. Okay? So we don't have to sign drug or cocaine addict to convey these ideas really nicely. And in fact, it's not necessary. There are many more visual ways to convey that idea. But putting that in there with an expansion, with kind of some of the things that we've discussed so far, is great. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely. I tried to quit cold turkey several times. So the time in that chunk is what? So I'm seeing the time as this or this. Yep, and either one works great. Okay, so so here and there and there, or here and there and there, here and there and there, and then to continue, I try to quit cold turkey. Tried. What did I do here? Okay, so here and there and there, what I have is I did stop. Okay, here and there and there, I did stop. I used did because I wanted to show you guys kind of how to use that as an emphasis. I did, you know, I did stop on a few occasions. I stop. Okay, stop. Yeah, stop rather than quit. Quit is okay. You see people sign out, oh, I want to quit. I want to quit smoking, because you see that everywhere. Quit smoking, quit smoking, quit smoking. But really, quit smoking isn't like the sign quit means that my legs are jumping into a club, or jumping into an event, or jumping into an organization, and then when that's join. When I quit, my legs jump out of that organization. They physically jump out of that. So technically, conceptually, quitting smoking or quitting drugs is stopping them, technically, very technically. So I did stop, yep. And then cold turkey, what does that mean? Look how we convey cold turkey with an easily. So cold turkey is the idea that I had no help of anything. I had no help from anything. So we could do help, none. Okay, if we want to, if we think that that's not the main idea, we're not trying to. This whole thing isn't about the benefits of quitting cold turkey versus the benefit of having, going to NA. It's just kind of an added little comment. I quit cold turkey several times. But if we did feel like this was a really important concept we wanted to get across, what Beth did, your expansion of, patch or go meetings, none, would be a fantastic way to convey that idea of cold turkey. I think for these purposes, it's just not necessary because it's not the main point of this. We could just sign, help me, none is clear. Or I'm sure you guys could probably think of another really quick 1 or 2 sign way to convey cold turkey too. So here and there and there, I did stop, help, none. Okay, so I did try to quit cold turkey several times, and I just kept hitting a wall and failing. Another good sign to kind of help round out that concept of cold turkey is this sign. So we have like I got no help. I just kind of like stuck it out. I just kind of tolerated it myself. It's just a great sign that has that feeling of like, boy, this is hard. I'm doing it on all my own, no help from anybody. Just so you know, we can add that in there too. So help me. That's how I managed. That's how I did it. Sorry, and then we have, I just kept hitting a wall and failing. Okay. Where do you guys want to start with this chunk? I just kept hitting a wall and failing. Really, you could just sign me. And this concept of hitting a wall, of battling something, you're faced with some sort of challenge and you're battling it. I've seen that many, many times. This is a really common concept. In fact, I can think of right now another video that I've used for many years mentoring that the woman, Amy Cohen Efron, signs that in her video. So it's really common, just so you know. It's not like, this is a very creative inspiration video this week, really creative use of ASL, but this concept I see often. So you could literally just sign me hit, and then relapse over and over and over again, or relapse, relapse, relapse. And this is a common sign for relapse. I posted a video. I see this also. Hit, or hit. Like hit the ceiling or hit the wall. Yep. Is hit the ceiling used more for like upward mobility, upward progression? I think maybe. So this might be more of, I'm trying to move past something and I can't quite get past it, where this is like, you know, I've been in this position for so long and I just, how? No, I mean, seriously. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's true. That's true. So deaf people in general, and then always have that struggle of how do we move up? And then you see Nile, you know, they have, yeah, that does work. It does apply for Nile. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, really nice. So that concept of the deaf community as a whole is always trying to move up, and then not boom, breaking free or breaking out of it. Yeah, I mean, he goes forward with his, but you could easily break free that way too. Really nice. Okay. Or even something as simple as, let's leave the deaf community out of it, just so that you guys can think of other ways to apply these concepts. Deaf community aside, let's say Niall had auditioned for America's Next Top Model 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and just like couldn't get in. So he's trying to move up. He's trying to get recognition, but and then he finally got in, and then won it. So that could be another way. So any person who's been trying and to move up, to succeed, yeah, could be used that way. And this similar, same kind of thing. Nice. Okay.
Other question.
Yeah. No, it's just a sign fall. It's just a sign fall. Yep. Like you fell on you tried, but you fell on your face. You fell on it. Like fell off the wagon. Fell on, yeah. So I tried to quit cold turkey several times. So you may choose to transition that with understand. Me over and over and over again. So that's the shortest way that I have more signs in mind, but they're just really not necessary. That's a really short way to convey that idea. Okay. Or I'd have a breakthrough for a while, but something would inevitably happen and I'd start using again. So to continue this, using kind of this structure, you could do sometimes me paw through, so you can go through that wall, but we'd have to make sure it's clear, because these are such abstract sign choices that we have to be clear what we're talking about. So sometimes sober, okay? Make it clear that sober is what we're dealing with. Moving along, and then maybe this, and then maybe relapse again, or cocaine again, or something like that. Or addicted again. Nah, relapse again is your best choice. Okay, so sometimes clear? Questions? Okay. It wasn't until AA that I demolished that wall and stayed clean for good. And again, keeping this up, keeping using the same structure, referencing this again. So one way this could be conveyed, and we're using really abstract signs, really creative ASL, borrowing from the inspiration video to come up with this interpretation, or, you know, as a group we're coming up with this interpretation. But obviously there are different ways you could convey these ideas. So don't think this is like, this is using the wall thing is the only way you could do this. Okay, so I'm going to progress time again. So we have, I would relapse again as the end of that last sentence. Okay, it wasn't until AA that I demolished that wall for good, demolished that wall and stayed clean for good. Okay, so eventually, so again, over time, time is still moving on. Okay, I hit the wall and hit the wall, and then you could hit the wall and drop, finish, okay, or done. Just a second. Oh, I know. So over time, hit wall, hit, finish, okay? Walk through, and you can get rid of that wall like this too. Just get rid of it, it's gone. All gone. Okay, so you could demolish the wall, walk through the wall, and then get rid of the wall. It's one way to handle it, okay? And then again, because it's so abstract, it's a good idea to add some signs to make it really clear what's happening, which is that sober from then on. From then on, sober. So it's crystal clear what's going on. You could also sign sober then on first. And I feel like that's actually typically how you see deaf people sign these kinds of things. So they'll show it, they'll use signs, and then they depict it. So it would look like, how would that look? Oh, you guys see what I missed, right? I missed a big chunk in there. Yeah, the AA meeting. Yeah, so what that would look like would be over time. No, I don't like overtime for that now. You guys agree? It wasn't until AA that I demolished that sign. So yeah, it works. Me entered AA, sober then on, and then you could do clean or sober. You do see clean sometimes too. So I signed the sentence first, and then I depicted the sentence. I'll do that again. Eventually, me enter AA, okay, or join AA. Sober from then on. Hit the wall, boom. Walk through, gone, clean or sober. That's better. Agreed? Yeah. Next one. I was petrified that I'd become another casualty of fame, success like many others before me. Okay, so we're still kind of in that time. We're still talking about the past, but you could add past again. So back then better, not recently, but back then, and what was happening back then? Yep, so back then, people going back, what Beth just did was, I think I saw suffer, struggle, and did you sign die? No? I think I would sign die. Petrified that I would become another casualty of fame and success. I think I would be really kind of explicit about it because I think that's the fear. Like so many celebrities do get drug addictions, and that is the fear is ultimately dying, overdosing. So I think I would probably sign people before me, famous, addicted, maybe suffer, die, and I was afraid of that casualty. That's what I would be afraid of. Yeah. Or like maybe, yeah, that kind of, you could even look at them, don't want, you set them up, and then don't want, using this face more. So before, people, going back, addicted, suffer, maybe struggle, die, don't want. I really did like looking at the line of people. I think that's really effective. If you have the time, I think that's effective. Not necessary, but effective. Okay, last sentence. I'll tell you, it's a struggle every day, so I still find a meeting once a week. What do you guys want to do for I'll tell ya? That concept of I'll tell ya. What is the person trying to say? What's the point of I'll tell ya? It's a struggle every day. I'll tell ya. What do you guys think? I'm seeing some honest. Yeah. What do you guys think is the point of it? I'll tell ya. Maybe it's a warning. It could just be a transition. I'll tell ya. Here you go. Here I am. I don't know. I don't think there's a huge amount of meaning. So any of these as a transition could work. This can be used as a transition. This could be used as a transition. No, every day I struggle. Every day still hard. It could just be a simple transition. So honest could work. Understand could work. Inform you could work. A lot of those transitions work in that sentence. Okay. It's a struggle every day. What does that mean? It's a struggle every day. Specifically regarding this person, what are they saying by saying it's a struggle every day? Tempted to do what? Yes. Drugs again. Yes, absolutely. So every day this person still wants drugs. They still want cocaine. Yes, every day they still have that desire. I'm not saying that you have to sign this, but realizing that that everyday struggle, struggle, struggle. We hear those words, it's struggle every day, and so we're tempted to sign, everyday struggle, struggle, struggle. But that doesn't really convey what this person's dealing with. They're dealing with this everyday cocaine still want, or everyday drugs maybe, still that it's always on my head, always thinking about it. Tempt is a great sign. Tempt is great in conjunction with the whole thing, Drugs, tempt, or cocaine, this works really well too. A lot of ways to convey that, but we want to get away from that. It's a struggle every day. Those are the words. So this is what I'm going to sign. Every day, struggle, struggle. Rather open that up and go, what is this person saying? I mean, if you think about the emotion behind a piece like this, if you were actually interpreting this, there's so much behind it's a struggle every day. And this person wakes up every day and has to okay, I'm gonna make it another day of my life and not deal with it's a really, really deep those 3 words, 4 words are really, really deep. So you want to make sure that you convey that, the depth of that little itty-bitty message to the fullest. Okay, so we just discussed a few different options for that. So I still find a meeting once a week. And just to go back for just a second, I did this. I did, just to let you know, drugs, no, just to let you know, still drugs, okay? And then I just realizing I didn't finish that idea. You can swipe that away. Every day I'm batting that away. That's another way to show that. It's up there and I'm trying to bat that away every day. Or you could even do drugs, pushing that aside. Every day, push, push, push. You could do that too. Okay. If you chose to do it that way, you just need the extra sign. That's why I want to give that to you. I really like everyday cocaine obsessed with. I like that too. I hate glossing words because it doesn't mean obsessed with, but it just means that concept is just like stuck on the head every day. Doesn't that sound much better than obsessed with? Yeah. Michelle, were you just signing? Yeah, yep. Maybe, okay. Maybe that could be another way. I don't know. No, just playing, but it's fun to play with signs. Okay, so last chunk. So I still find a meeting once a week, and that's a really pretty straightforward sentence. When we attempt to process it, so we go in there, there's nothing else. It's still just every week I go to a meeting, right? But we still have to do that. Because sometimes you go, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that implication, or oh my gosh, I never would have realized that the tone really meant that. It's really important to jump in to every chunk. But here we just have that. So every week, me go to AA meeting. You could do that, and then you may want to add something that conveys that idea of like I absolutely do that. Every week I still find a meeting. So like maybe this, I absolutely do that. Like every week. AA meeting, me go, go, go. Like I absolutely do that. Or this, I absolutely do that. True biz. I like this better for that, but either one of those works. I stubbornly, I definitely do that. I'm stubborn about it. Again, stubborn, terrible gloss for that sign. It means something. It means you're stubborn about it. I can't think of any other word. But you do it all the time. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, or even I think I just saw somebody do this. This works too. Every week, AA meeting, me go. Yeah. Period can work. This could work. Yeah. Yep. Not necessary. Not necessary. They probably miss AA meetings sometimes. I mean, I don't think they're trying to say I never miss it, but they're just kind of trying to convey that idea that, like, it's really important to me and I'm definitely going to go. It doesn't hurt anything, but anything else? Questions? Comments? Thoughts? Nope. Okay. Have a great week, everybody. Take care. You're welcome. Bye.